Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers. Welcome to Muse and Measure, where we look at the spiritual aspect of songwriting craft. This is the first episode in a series on the different aspects of songwriting and how they connect with spiritual practice. So if you want to partake in this and go deeper with your practice and see how it connects with the spiritual journey, you may want to click the little guy in the lotus down below and subscribe. This is the first episode in a series I'm doing on the craft of songwriting, and we're going to be looking at all these different aspects of writing lyrics, writing melodies, chord progressions, and how they connect with existential and spiritual issues as a way to enhance your spiritual practice. Obviously, it's not meant to replace it. I'm not saying that you should give up your meditation and your prayer, but songwriting can definitely support that, and maybe even add aspects to your spiritual practice that will expand and help it. So definitely would love to have you join us. So please hit the subscribe button if you are interested. So this first episode is going to be about why. So why do we write songs? Now obviously some people write songs to become famous, to impress people as a gift, just because they like to create, and that's all absolutely valid. But this series is really about the why of expression and what we can get out of songwriting as a spiritual practice as well as a creative one. So there are some deeper purposes of songwriting. So first of all is expression. So we want to look at what's going on inside of ourselves, the internal life that we live, and find a way to express it out, to get it out, and to formulate it in a way so that it can communicate with other people. And this transforms our inner turmoils, our psychological states, our habitual patterns. And once they become external, we can look at them and hopefully transcend them or learn about ourselves or get some kind of greater perspective on life and what we go through in our lives through the process of writing songs. So expression is really, really, really important. Not only does it make us feel better as a means of catharsis, getting out, blowing out steam, taking those negative emotions and getting them out, but it also gives us a kind of a key into ourselves and a way of kind of looking at ourselves in the mirror through the creative process. So that's really, really valuable. Healing is another aspect. So if we're going through really hard times, maybe we're going through a breakup, we're frustrated with something, we're angry, songwriting can really help us to heal. Just by getting it out, it makes us feel better, but also it allows us to look at ourselves kind of from the third person and to look at our situation from kind of a higher perspective so that we can shape it and mold it, and then potentially transcend our habitual ways of relating to it. So instead of just wallowing in this sadness and depression and it causing other negative patterns like substance abuse or being nasty to people, that we can really transform these negative emotions into something really positive, something that can help us heal but also help other people heal. And that brings us to another benefit of songwriting as a spiritual practice, is that it connects us with other people and makes us not feel so alone. Okay? So that spiritual sense that we're all one, that we're interconnected, is really a part of the creative act and songwriting. So connecting with other people, we make them feel better because they know that they're not alone, that the things that you're going through in your life when other people experience, they're like, oh yeah, I'm heartbroken now and your songs really help me to feel that and to process it and then to move on and transcend it. And it also makes you feel better as a person who's expressing it because you don't feel alone. There are people that can hear your pain. And I don't know about you, but definitely I'm much more of an introverted person. Most of the creative people I know are introverted. And so we aren't so good at maybe connecting with people and talking with them and sharing our emotions. Maybe we feel disassociated from our emotions. We're not really tied into them, unless they're really, really extreme, obviously. But then we're kind of in a daze and in a trance, and those emotions are just driving us. So this is a way for us to, first of all, tap into our emotional selves and to see that emotional self, to see the habitual aspects of it, but also how it's trying to evolve and how it's trying to make us better and to solve problems in the future and to become more equanimical. Find a place of peace in our lives. That's really what our minds and our bodies are longing for. And through this process, we can help it along by giving it this feedback of information, by looking for, in a self-reflexive way, looking at what's going on inside, making it an external thing so that we can look at it and evaluate it, and then finding ways to problem solve and transcend it. Okay? And this is really the exploration and adventure side, because the creative process is not just about reinforcing our habitual way of relating to every situation. It also draws us out. Okay? So we think of new possibilities. And this is why mistakes are so wonderful and powerful when you're playing music, is that they are not really mistakes, they're your brain improvising and finding new ways and new approaches to deal with a new situation. So it's really an incredible transformative process songwriting can offer to you as a person. Okay? So this is how songwriting is a spiritual and existential act. It's really connecting with something that's bigger, even if you don't believe in some kind of higher power, but the bigger being the whole community of other human beings, or maybe even including the animal world. So you're connecting with that, finding a way to express yourself in a way that connects with other people through communication. And then also as an existential act. So taking responsibility for your state of mind by assessing it and looking at it and presenting it as this is who I am at this moment. This is what's going on in my life. You also take responsibility with the creative choices that you make. So you can really shape what happens in the song, and you can transform your state of mind through that process, because you basically, this is who I am, but I'm going to tweak this. This is being a little whiny little brat. So I'm going to take that line and make that a little bit wiser. And in that process, maybe that transforms your inner self as well. So a lot of people feel they can't do this because I'm not talented enough. But we should really drop that, because everybody feels they're not talented enough, no matter what level they're at. Everybody has this self-doubt. This is just part of the creative process. And really think of it more as this is a call to communicate, a call to a higher person, a better person who's able to communicate with other people, connect with other people, which is something I struggle with, maybe you struggle with. How can we do that? And songwriting and sharing songs is a great way. People are receptive to hearing songs, okay? Whereas they might be not so receptive to a communication and talking. Okay? So in this first episode, I really want us to think about setting our intention. So why are we writing these songs? Who are we trying to communicate with? So I want you to think about that, and think about how it can connect with your own spiritual practice. First of all, do you have a spiritual practice? Maybe it's prayer, maybe it's meditation. And how could songwriting help with that process? What are some ways that you want it to help with that process? What do you aspire to spiritually and creatively through songwriting or your spiritual practice? And I'd love to hear your answers to this, because it will help me shape this. Any questions or comments also that you want to share, please put down below in the comments section, because it would be very valuable to me. So what is it that you want to get out of this? What do you want to get out of your songwriting? And what do you want to get out of your spiritual practice? Okay? Why do people practice mindfulness? Why do they practice meditation? And then why do people write songs? So do you agree with those impetuses? Or do you want something different and something broader? So that's your first little bit of homework assignment. Of course, you only need to take 10 seconds to think about it, but do it for yourself, but also in that spirit of communicating with others. Put it down in the comments. And if you want to just email me directly, you can email me at tyler@musemeasure.com to share your thoughts. If you don't want it to be on the comments board, I certainly understand. And I look forward to taking this journey with you, because I'm looking forward to deepening my spiritual practice and my creative practice of songwriting, and having the two merge so that they can help each other elevate. Okay? So I'm greatly looking forward to this process with you. And until next time, Best of luck with your songwriting and with your spiritual practice.